What's for lunch? TBBLC.
Stay in your seat.
What's for lunch today? Sausage. Brown bag, brown bag.
The Brown Bag Lunch Crew. All right, welcome back. Episode 2. This week, got a great cast of characters. We got Devin Murray back from possible coronavirus. Not looking like it anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm good. No coronavirus here.
There we go. And Drew, let's get some words in early. People had some feedback for us last week. You didn't talk
They
for a little bit.
did. And I have some feedback for the people as well. Anyone who thinks that I say the word globally weird can go piss up a rope. And with that said, I do want to apologize for all the coughs and sniffles early on last week. It's allergy season. I don't want to confuse anybody with, this, global pandemic or anything of that nature. So I am okay. Happy to be here.
All right, sweet. So, Dev, you missed the Instagram debate last week.
I did.
What do you think? Whose side are you on this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm somewhat in the middle, but I'd have to say I think you were a little harsh, Curt, on the people that are posting all the birthday, all the reposts and everything. I mean, I'm okay with a few. Like, that's kind of where I stand. Like, I don't think you should never repost anything that someone's like, someone's wishing you happy birthday. Like, I'm guilty of it. I did it. But I think I only did one. It's what kills me is when you have like 25 of them and it takes like 15 minutes to click through all of them. You have like a little caterpillar up at the top because there's so many things you have to click through. Like, okay, that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
But to give a couple of the more meaningful ones, I have absolutely no problem with. And it was on Twitter, shout out Drew Moniz for the shout out to our tweet there. I do agree that it's like, okay, Instagram is a platform where you want to showcase that kind of stuff. And so it's almost like hate the game, not the player, so I don't get like mad at people for doing that, but it just, at some point, it's a little bit ridiculous when it takes too long.
Yeah, you're taking middleman Dan there. You're not going with either of your co-hosts on this one, but we'll allow it. The funny thing, my roommate Mike Doherty, who we were supposed to have on, he had to cancel due to tax season right now. But he said
they got pushed back.
We're reposting the stuff on our story to get the podcast out there, and he's like, this is kind of contradictory to my statement. I'm like, it is, but now
it's the same thing.
It's a teamwork thing where I'm thinking about the team, so I can't not globally Drew self-promote here. So
It's a company decision. And to be fair, to Devin's point with the 25 to 30 posts, I believe that's sort of where your initial sort of, lashing out began. I think that's where it sort of sprouted from. And then you sort of were like, you know what? I don't care if it's 1, I don't care if it's 50. But to be fair to Devin's point, I do remember specifically there were a few individuals who, that's how it really, started to get your blood boiling a bit.
Yeah, and we got an extra special episode for you guys today. We got the 2019 champ on the podcast today. We'll let that dive in, but let's just talk a little bit about what Fiesta is in Gloucester, Massachusetts, boys, and what that whole week entails, and then we'll let Derrick Hopkins take it off from here.
Yeah, I think I would love to. Thank you, Devin. So I think what Fiesta is, it's definitely hard to explain. We post the picture, you talk about it at work, and people are like, what the heck is that guy doing up there? And why is everybody on the beach cheering for him? And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, family and tradition in the Italian roots of the heritage of Gloucester. I'm not Italian myself.
This is very politically correct.
So I can't really, speak too far into it. But basically what I would describe the Greasy Pole as, or the entire weekend as, is just a celebration of Italian heritage and culture in Gloucester. And there's a little carnival, per se, down in a parking lot. Go ahead, Curtis.
Pop quiz. Who's the saint of Fiesta? This is
Are you asking us or are you asking
I'm
them?
asking you guys.
I know it. Should I say it?
Yeah.
Or should we leave it up to the...
Go ahead. I don't know
It's St. Peter.
Okay.
And you're not even
Italian.
Italian. I'm half Italian. I didn't know that.
That's bad, Dev. That's really bad. I thought I could get Drew in the moment there to have a little brain fart, but I didn't.
No chance. Anyway, so there's a carnival. The bars are hopping. They do some boat races and the Greasy pole, which we'll get into a little bit further. But yeah, basically, long story short, there's a long wooden pole and people are running across it trying to get the flag. There's grease, there's soap, there's whatever on it. And whoever gets to the end first and pulls down the flag wins. That's the moral of the story. Pretty high level. I don't know if you guys have anything to add. Obviously, we'd be happy to provide more context, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Go ahead, Dev.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much hit it. It's just wild. If anyone, if you've ever been to it, just being down on the beach, watching everyone it's absolutely electric. Like, you wouldn't think it the way that you hear that if you've never been there. You're like, what are you even, like, guys running on a greased up pole in the middle of the ocean? It's absolutely electric though, and you get bragging rights forever, really, if you're the one that finally takes it down. And we've got a true legend on the show today.
Yep, 3 days of that competition, the Greasy pole. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you got 50 to 100 contestants up there walking each day. So one person comes off that pole a winner, and we got one of them today. That's pretty much it. We will roll right into this special episode with Derrick Hopkins and the Greasy pole rundown. Here we go.
Alrighty, folks, we have a very special guest today, fresh off the pot, tri-sport athlete from Gloucester High School, Palazzola's Junior League alumni, 2019 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, National Greasy Pole champion. Welcome to the TBBLC, Derrick Hopkins. We are very glad to have you on today. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here today.
Yeah, I mean,
this beautiful Saturday.
Getting you on the podcast probably was one of my most brilliant ideas. We really got to dig into your entire friend group and get them on board this podcast and see how it goes. But
Drew, they're all texting me yesterday about it.
Drew, lead us
no
off
doubt
into
about it.
What everybody wants to hear about from last year, 2019, and what is it, June or July?
Yeah, late June, early July, wherever you want to look at it. I think the week from Wednesday Fiesta to the 4th of July is can sometimes be a blur for most people. So we'll let you off the hook there, Curt. I'd like to start off, what a run it was. I'd just like to have you walk us through a little bit, from the day that you signed up to Sunday night being a three-peat champion. What was that like for you? And can you just give us, a little look into the life of that you were living, throughout that week and that weekend?
Well, it goes back a year prior to 2018 when I was only 17 years old, and you're technically supposed to be 18 to sign up for the pole. But on the sign-up sheet on the bottom, there's a small line to have someone who's a legal guardian sign up for you. So when I was 17, me and my dad went down to the St. Peter's Club. We signed up for Sunday because that was my best chance of getting on if my dad put his name down and talked to some of the guys.
Past champion, your dad.
Yeah, 96 and 97, I believe. And so he signed me up. I got on for Sunday. We saw the sign-up sheet. I was walking in like the late 20s maybe. And about a week goes by, and I come home from work. I was working at the beach at the time. My dad's on the porch talking on the phone. And I remember I just kind of knew it didn't seem good. And I walked out, and he's like, yep, sorry, bud. They booted you off the pole. And apparently some dudes were talking because I was only 17. They didn't want me up there. And that was it. They booted me off. But I always knew there was the next year. Didn't really care. That just meant I got another summer to swim out there.
Yeah, and I mean,
have fun.
Lifelong dream from what I've seen on social media and stuff of you just really enjoyed anything to do with the Greasy pole, and then people seeing your videos like walking after that year prior and just being like, well, this kid's going to be, the next stud up there. And basically seeing it come to fruition was pretty cool. And I wasn't even in town at the time. I was down in Texas, and I'm like texting my brother, calling my brother, trying to get live results and any type of video I can get, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they have now. They got the live stream. You can go on the St. Peter's Fiesta app, and you can watch all the sporting events, the same boat races, and everything live.
Yeah, we're a little technologically challenged on this podcast, so I wasn't up to date at that time.
And something funny to note there too. I remember that year when you signed up. It didn't end up happening. I want to say it was maybe the day after or at least within that week after the poll, I believe you posted on Facebook videos of you walking down and back multiple times. And Curtis and I and Devin actually were just talking about this before, saying, without actually doing it, it almost seemed like that was just a double mingy to the entire organization and everybody who told you otherwise, because what a way to just tell everybody just, F you and just prove them wrong. So that was just an amazing job to foreshadow what was to come.
I captioned it, the only good thing about not walking this year is being able to come out the day after for one more year. Like a little subtle passive aggressiveness. Nothing, no shots actually fired towards anyone, but just in general, people knew.
Let the competition know that next year is going to be a rude awakening for some of them.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. And something else to add there as well is, there's always talks between friends and families on that Friday, who's coming up, who's it going to be this year. I had said Friday, Derrick's probably going to be the guy. There's a lot of chatter. Obviously, you're good friends with my sister, her friend group. They're all kind of talking about it. So I was hearing the name a lot, and I had to go with it. So and I got to be honest, I wasn't, I was just kind of saying it because everybody else was. And it was just unbelievable to watch the absolute dominance on all 3 days. So now, I guess go ahead, Curt.
Yeah, Friday, what number walker were you to get to? Because it still had to get to at some point on Friday to then have the chance to go trifecta.
I'm kind of having a blur right now, but I want to say it might have been maybe 39 or 38. It was pretty late.
Like middle of the pack, or is that a little later?
Middle towards the end, I think. There was some guys after me, but I was towards the end, so there was a lot of people going before me. So I kind of went throughout the day just kind of, just enjoying the day and knowing that it's probably likely that someone's going to grab it before me, and just to enjoy the experience for what it was. And, obviously not being a poor sport if I don't get a walk, things like that. Just I was there for the sport of it, not to win.
Yeah.
But, of course, if I got my chance, I was going to buckle down and do what I had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt about it. I think that's the mindset you have to have as well. And obviously, that's the right way to do it. So, bravo to you. You did it the right way. There was no, I know for lack of a better term, you see a lot of people kind of bitch and moan sometimes about not getting a walk or, we'll get into this a little later, but old Grease, new Grease,
there's a big
kid
debate
that a
on
walker. There's a lot of chatter out there. But, one question I did want to get down to the bottom of is, what was it like waking up on that Sunday morning after Friday?
Well, Drew, let's not skip Saturday. Let's talk about Friday first. The outfit choice.
Right,
you had the Marshall's Farm stand on all week, right?
Started off with Buddy the Elf from the Elf movie.
Oh, I gotcha.
My brother dressed up as Santa Claus. I dressed up as Buddy the Elf. And my brother picked me up bright and early, probably around 9 or 10. And, Fiesta is a pretty crazy time. You're usually out with your friends beforehand. So started off on Friday morning. Wasn't feeling too hot, but I had a long day in front of me. My brother picks me up. We go to one of the first houses. And some of the guys are there. I don't really know a lot of them. A lot of them seem to know my name, and they were talking to me, but I was just starting to meet a lot of people. We start putting a few back, and we're just chilling, having a good time, and so we keep moving around, and we end up at Peter Black's house, which is one of the last big party spots you go to. Everyone's there, and there's a lot of people trying to say, oh, rookie shotgun. They pull all the rookies over, and then you finish a shotgun, and they come over and go, oh, now you got to drop this nip. And my brother was like, Jesus Christ. He took me over to Sebastian's Pizza, got me a water and a slice, and had me sit back for a few because everyone was trying to get me hammered because they knew I had a good chance.
Yeah.
And we go down the house, and then we're walking by the St. Peter's Club. We're about to go down to the landing and hop on the boat, and I see my parents for the first time since I left that morning. And me and my brother walk up, and me and him we're feeling good. We're happy and whatnot. And my mom and my dad were looking at me. My mom's freaking out. She's like, Derrick, are you all right? You need a water. And I was like, Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry. I found out after the fact. When me and my brother walked away, my dad turned to my mom and said he doesn't have a shot. He's lit up like a Christmas tree. There's no chance he takes it down.
Wow.
Get out there, and a lot of people say, oh, don't worry. You hit the water once, you sober up, you'll be fine. And I got up there, and it all felt natural from like all the years in the summer going up there. Nothing felt weird. A lot of people said, oh, it's a lot different walking with the crowd. But when they call your name, you don't notice anything. It's just nothing but you and the pole.
A little tunnel
So
vision.
I get up there. What was that?
A little tunnel vision almost, like everything clears
That's
up.
what it is.
Yeah.
And so we get up there. The first round goes by, and there's some videos that Gabe Castello took from on the pole, and you can see my Friday and Saturday walks from up there. And all the people are like, "Oh, let's go, bud, give him a show." Everyone's real nice up there. And after the walk, the camera turns to my brother, and everyone's like, "He's gonna fucking win it. Like, that's it." And my brother's just like, "Hell yeah." And the whole round goes by, bunch of good walkers, a lot of people getting really close. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I didn't watch a lot of it because it's a little scary to watch. Everyone's getting real close. So my brother turns to me and he's like, "Derrick, there's about 10 more walkers. You're up real soon."
Yeah.
And I remember Santo Parisi gets up, and I had this feeling that he was gonna take it down. There wasn't much grease left. This is late second round. And I grabbed his shoulders. And I was like, "Santo, flag's right there, dude. Go grab it." And he steps up, and he's getting out there. He's like 3/4 out, a couple steps from the flag. And I thought he was about to take it. I was ready to throw my fist up in the air. And then he took a step in the grease, and his foot slipped out. And me and my brother looked at each other and just nodded our heads, no words. And then a few walkers later, they stepped up. I heard my name called. And then it's like everything around you blacks out, and it's like nothing but you and the pole. And before I could think too much, I just went.
That's awesome. And then shout out
That
Kamish.
is absolutely incredible.
Santo Parisi Kamish of our fantasy football league, clearing a little bit of that grease off and getting D-Hop the pole on this one.
Team player. That's a team player move right there.
Oh, yeah.
What a Friday experience. And shout out to Sebastian's Pizza as well.
Yeah, Sebastian's
take you
Pizza.
to say that?
Pepperoni slices saved the day.
Yeah, how many free pizzas are you getting out of that after this? I think every year we need to get a pizza beforehand on that one.
After, I don't know if it was after Friday or if it was after Saturday and Sunday, but Pier 23 said, Greasy Pole champ Derrick Hopkins on Facebook, come on down for a free burger or whatnot. And I ended up not coming down because it just didn't work out. I wanted to go with some of my friends, but no one ever wanted to go, so it just didn't work.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got to take
That's
advantage
amazing.
of all the spoils of becoming the Friday, Saturday, or Sunday Greasy Pole champ. You can
Say hello to my mother,
go around
Kate
town.
Hopkins,
Hello,
Hey there,
Mama
Kate.
Hopkins.
guest
How you
starring on
doing?
the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, he's a hot item to get on the podcast these days. I mean, you get a 3-time champ, you got to get him on. Give the people what they want.
No doubt.
Yeah, and then let's talk about down in the water with the flag. You got the whole progression that goes from getting onto the beach, then up through the sand and walking down the street. Just talk us through that a little.
So a lot of people say you pull the flag off, and then when you start to get close, you hear the crowd getting revved up, you hear people screaming, and then you hit the water and it's just silence because you're underwater, and you get a moment to yourself to just be like, "Oh my God, what's going on? This is crazy." And then you come up, and then it's all loud. There's people swimming to you, splashing water at you. You can hardly breathe. People kind of drowning you a little bit, kind of pulling you around. It gets a little crazy. And the swim in is when it kind of starts to hit you, and people are asking you like how does it feel? And you're like, I don't even know. And I just kind of backpedaled and pushed the flag behind me. And my brother wanted to carry me up the beach, so he was swimming right next to me. He's like, "Derrick, make sure you get on my shoulders. Make sure you get on my shoulders." And I hop up there, and he starts carrying me by. All my friends are around. I see everyone I know. My dad runs up to me. And it's just this crazy feeling. I don't even know what to do. So I just start screaming chants to fill the void of almost awkwardness in a sense, because it's like everyone has your eyes on you. You're up above everyone else. Everyone's looking at you, and people are like handing you like a drink, and you're just holding that, and then you get carried by like all the officers on the horses, and you just gets a little awkward for a second. Everyone's around. We
That's
get down
incredible.
by the shrine, and before I can even really do anything, they've got like a camera. The guy on the news is like asking me questions. I don't even know what he's going to ask me. I have to think on the spot and try not to look like an idiot on the news. And it's just all in all a crazy feeling. And then after that, I took some pictures with some kids and my friends and with my girlfriend at the time. And then just barefoot walked back to the car, went home and took a shower and just kind of relaxed for a little bit.
Yeah, that's got to be a pretty wild, 30 minutes to an hour-ish afterwards where you're just going through
crazy,
the ringer.
crazy time.
Pretty cool, though. having the family there, having your brother like by your side.
Oh, yeah.
I'd compare it to golf. Caddy, my brother always caddies for me every year at club championship, and just any like cool experience you have that you can just reminisce every year and be like, that was fucking awesome. I mean,
oh yeah.
It
When we get
any
together,
better than that.
we'll just all share stories about the weekend, what happened, and I'm sure those stories will go on for a lifetime.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll never die out.
Absolutely. And then let's talk about maybe Friday night going into Saturday. See what the friends are saying, what you're doing to prepare, if anything, or just going out and just winging it because, you know, that's how you roll, maybe.
Well, so after Friday, I get home, taking my shower, and this was probably the only time I've ever felt like somewhat of a celebrity. My phone was popping off. I had people kept texting me, congratulations, this and that, and I didn't want to just type the same, like, thank you, bro, like, appreciate it. So I was like trying to think of different responses and just answering everyone. And my buddy Ryan Muniz was texting me. He's like, yo, the people want you at my house. We had some of our friends there. He had some of his cousins that flew down for Fiesta. They were there. And at this point, I was just trying to relax a little bit before I went out. And he kept texting me, come on, the people want you. Bring the flag. Come over to my house. And I was like, all right, I'm coming. And I get there and I walk up his steps and round the corner to his porch. And I just kind of hold the flag up and everyone goes wild for a minute. And it was real crazy. Everyone was talking to me. And he had some of his cousins there who aren't from the area.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we want to ask you a question. And I was like, all right. And they were like, can we see your feet? Like your big toe. And I was like, this is a first. And yeah, you can see it. You can see them. And this is the first time I took my shoes off to show people my feet. It was a really weird thing.
Yeah, that's.
And they're actually also on Sunday, someone took a picture of me and my dad's foot side by side. And I joke about how me and my dad's feet broke 100 likes on Facebook, just having our bare foot with a picture.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I mean, basically what I saw too is I know all your friends, Ryan, Colby, and all them. Like they were practically, it seemed like your agents down like at Fiesta.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which was hilarious to me.
At night we would take the flag and then we would just go like we'd walk down to Fiesta and we'd just walk with the flag and we'd had our little posse each night and we would walk around chanting and just holding the flag up and we'd go make a run through Fiesta and then down by the fort and then come back around and then walk back down to like Munsey's house or wherever we went that night. And it became kind of our thing each night to just walk around with the flag. Yeah. And we'd get a lot of attention. People would beep their horn when they'd come by or they'd yell across to us. It was pretty crazy.
Gotcha. And then...
That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, and then going into Saturday as well, like a question that I had is what were the people saying Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon? Was there an expectation at that point that it was yours, just given the performance on Friday? What was it like for you, going from Friday to Saturday?
Well, I'm going to backstep a little bit. Before Friday even, Austin Souza made the power ranking, which I think he does every year, which is a real tough thing to do because there's a bunch of guys, bunch of good walkers. Some people are, there's opinions. Everyone's like, oh, why isn't this person on? Why is this person above this person? But it's typically based off of the past year's walkers and walkers in the past. But I'd never walked before. And Audie threw me in the second spot of the power ranking under, I think, Randy Sweet. So in the comments, there were people that were like, who the hell's Derrick Hopkins, this and that? And I was like, just another kid who grew up on the backyard pole. And someone goes, watch him win this Friday now, this and that. And I remember after Fridays, the guy re-commented on the string in the comments and was like, this aged gracefully. Like, this worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's like a cold takes exposed.
Literally.
When we got to Peter Black's, they come out with a board that has the odds of all the walkers. And, some people are like, will be 1 in a million, 1 in 25, 1 in 30. And they had me with a W and a circle around it. And people were like, damn, I've never seen that before. They've never put a W on the rankings and stuff. So then after Friday, everyone was like, oh, shit, this kid's for real. Like, let's see what he can do Saturday, though, because 1 is only 1.
Yeah.
And so I got out there Saturday and, somewhat the same deal. A lot of people coming up to me, trying to get me going, talking to me, whatnot. But I had a lot of my friends out there that day, so it was real fun to go around with them. And now I had Mark and Ryan that day, Mark Smith and Ryan Muniz.
Yep.
And it was just kind of the same deal. But the thing was, after Friday, Saturday, I was I just had a lot of confidence from the day before. I just got out there and just kind of comfortably did what I did. Didn't let anything get to me, just got out there and pretended like it was in the summer. No one watching, just having fun.
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, but Kenzie said to get your comments on Colby's walk. Did he go Friday then?
Colby walked Sunday.
Oh, was it Sunday? Okay. So we'll get into
Sunday.
that then. But he needs your comments on it because he said he needed to hear what you had to say.
Oh, yeah, that was a funny one.
But yeah, then Saturday, leading into Sunday here. Now, going out Saturday, I guess, and then we'll talk about any nerves you had, or it doesn't seem like you would have had any at this point, just because you're like, crowd's not really affecting me here. It's just tunnel vision, but that's a whole nother ordeal when you just did it 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Sunday became like the final test. It was like, can he do it?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what everyone wanted to see. Everyone was, will he do it on the last day?
Yeah, the final character in Mario, like to take over Bowser or something.
Yeah. I think after seeing Friday and Saturday too, like it obviously gives you confidence, but everybody else, like at that point, like Curtis said, it's that last step to greatness almost, and you've kind of got your feet wet. Quite literally, and to have the chance on Sunday to three-peat, that's an absolutely incredible position to put yourself in. And all the credit to you. It was an absolutely great experience for someone who, coming in on Friday had no idea what to expect, and then just watching kind of the mood of everybody around you, everybody on the beach, just change into Sunday.
And then to get into a little here of the craziness, what I think is people not rooting for you to chase history on Sunday, because it makes no sense to me. The gripes on the beach would be like, oh, well, he trains, so that's BS or whatever. And I know you have a totally different take on that, and to maybe put some of the haters in their place here.
So when I was about 4 years old, my dad is working up in Boston, still does. He was coming home one day from work, and there was a big, huge yard filled with PVC pipes. If anyone's been on the pole, it starts out, the diameter of the pole is pretty thick, and towards the end, it gets a bit smaller. So if I was to best compare it, the PVC pipe in diameter was close to the diameter of the end of the greasy pole, and it was roughly 20 feet long, so around half the pole. And if you put dish soap on that PVC pipe, it's borderline slipperier than putting grease on the real pole. That's what my brother and my dad would always say. Okay. And so when I was 4, my dad came home with this, and he's good with construction and building things. So he built a mini replica greasy pole in the backyard. And to me and my brother, it was like this huge deal because we idolized my father as being a past champ. Each greasy pole we grew up, we'd watch him walk, we'd hear the stories, we'd see the videos, and we wanted to be just like him. So he came home with this pole, and for years I would dress up in Halloween costumes, and I'd go out there on my own. And I'd be by myself out there. I'd lube the pole up with dish soap. I would steal all the soap in the house, hand soap, shampoo. Like I would steal. My mom would get pissed sometimes because there'd be no soap. And I'd go out there. I'd dress up in my costume, and I'd be the dude announcing names, and then I would also be every walker. So I would announce like myself as first, and then I would walk as far as I could. And then I would usually use like my friends' names or like just common names I could think of. And I would walk for them, and I would always go not as far when I was a different name. And then I would announce my name, and I'd walk out and grab the flag. And I found enjoyment in it. It's what I did for fun. It was never like, I'm going to do this for years so I can win the real one. It was more like, this is fun to me, so I'm going to do it because I like doing it.
Yeah, and then it's gripes about like people who've won in the past too, who have walked the pole in the summer just for fun when they didn't have it closed down and everything. It's like it's not people trying to go out there to at the end goal go win greasy pole Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like, hey, we're just doing this for fun. This is like one of the most iconic things in the city that we have. So why not?
Exactly. And so once I was old enough, my parents would actually let me go out to the real one around 6th grade summer. I want to estimate. I started to hit up all my friends, and I had a group of friends that would always be down to go out there. And so we'd swim out there in the summer. My dad made me a little flag down in the basement. And so I'd bring the flag down there. We'd stop at Market Basket, get a big can of Crisco, maybe a couple cans if we wanted to go in that day. And we'd get down the beach, and sometimes we'd mix up dish soap with Crisco. We'd get anything we could, and we'd get down to the beach. I'd find a pretty big rock, put it in my pocket, and then everything kind of floated besides the rock. So that would go in the pocket, and then you would just kind of push the flag in front of you, and then while you're in the water, throw the Crisco or the soap about 20 feet in front of you, and then just push the flag and swim, and then throw the soap and the Crisco, and then push the flag, swim. And then everyone would help each other get everything up the ladder. And then once you got up top, one of the guys, which a lot of the time ended up being me, would walk out to the end and then slowly sit down on the end of the pole, and I'd have someone come out with the flag, or I'd just go with it. I would take that rock out of my pocket and hammer the flag into the end of the pole.
Yep.
And then I'd have someone walk out with the Crisco, and I would shimmy backwards and just put the Crisco in front of me on the pole. And then I would shimmy all the way back to the platform, and then we would just take turns going one after the other.
I mean,
and
it doesn't get any better than that. That's just like kids going out and playing freaking wiffle ball, you know, when they're growing up and just having a good time in the summer. Like, you're not going to stop us from doing that.
No. And we would always see the same beachgoers at Pavilion that would be sitting there in the summer, and they would see us come down the beach and swim out, and they'd watch us walk it. And then we would always wait until maybe the tour boat would come by, and we would hear the guy talking, and if you look to your right out of the boat, this is the Greasy pole. A bunch of Italians dress up in costume, and they try to walk out to the end. And if we get lucky, one of these kids might walk out for us, and they'd be like, all right, Derrick, go get the flag, go get the flag. And I would just run out and like grab the flag, scream to the people on the boat, and they'd all love it.
Yeah, that's your first crowds right there off the old harbor
tour.
Started.
Well, but then so once I started doing that, the pole in the backyard was kind of taking up space, and my dad kind of took it down and like tucked the pole away. So for years on and off, the pole itself would be tucked away, and then sometime I'd get bored, and like for old time's sake, I would drag it out and just walk it a couple times to reminisce on old times when that was the pole. And then it would get tucked away again for maybe a year or two, and then I would take it out again. And we've since donated it to some friends who have young kids, and my dad went and kind of mounted it up for them. And now in a couple of years, we might have another couple champs coming.
Yeah,
coming through.
Now molding a couple of generations down the line to keep that name going on that.
My dad always had this crazy idea.
Yep.
That probably would be a good idea, but there would need to be some permits, and it would be tough to do. But he said we could take the mini Greasy pole, set it up down the beach, and then have like kids pay, and he'll sit there and announce it like the real Greasy pole, but for like little kids, and like put some stuff on it and let the little kids have a little junior pole out on the beach. But there would be a lot that would go into that, so we never really tried to do it. But it was just a cool idea he had once.
Yeah, definitely a cool idea. It's like growing the game in any like sport that you would see is to just continue the tradition and get more and more younger generations involved, because that's how it gets better.
Exactly. The young kids coming up. All those kids that I used to go out to the pole with in the summer, JT, Tyler Parisi, Mike Sands, like they're all up there nowadays, Saturday or Sunday. Mike's got a couple wins under his belt too. That was real exciting to grow up walking with him and then seeing him win it in I think 2018.
Yeah. And then talk us through the celebration seemingly on the end of the pole. Was it impromptu? Was it scripted? Because that was third round, right? On Sunday?
Or like on Sunday?
Yeah.
It was second round, first walk.
Oh, second round, first walk. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what my dad did back in 97.
Yeah.
He stood at the end and he held his fist up. And there's pictures of him out there holding his fist up. And cool little backstory. I'll go on a little tangent real quick. That picture was taken. My dad standing with his fist up like this. And right after that picture was taken, his hand was kind of slipping on the flag. And back then, I guess they used bigger nails, or the flag was tougher to get out. So he's trying to pull the flag off, and he winds up popping one of the nails off, and he falls off, and the flag slips out of his hands and just spins upside down. And it's just still hanging onto the pole. And my dad just swam back to the platform, got up, they re-nailed the flag on, and the same day a round went by, no one got it, and my dad got another chance, and he walked and got it again. So sometimes when people ask about my dad, I say he's won 2.5 times, because he stood at the end, flag spun upside down, he went back up, and the same day he got it again.
Gotcha. So as long as that's nailed still on there, they'll just re-tack it. And,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Unless like it comes off or if it's high tide and you can reach it. I don't know. I assume my dad said there was guys up there screaming, "I'll fucking kill you if you take that flag," screaming at him, and he just like, "I'm not gonna deal with that."
he's like,
You
fine,
wanna
I'll just win it next round.
Yeah.
flag back up? Yeah, give me another
So good.
shot.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And
What
then
a
So
story.
you
because
did
of,
wear Marshall's farm stand at one point, right?
Yeah, on Saturday and Sunday I wore it.
Okay, gotcha. Now
I can get into that
you
one.
win Saturday. Was it like what do you call it? Good luck charm to wear it again Sunday, or you just wanted to wear
Well, so he texted me, Bob Marshall. He was my former boss. I used to work at Marshall's Farm Stand.
it? I know.
He
Bobby.
texted me on Saturday and was like, "Hey, great job! Like on the pole yesterday, that was real exciting to watch." I'm not going to disclose any numbers, but he was like, "Oh, I'll give you this much to wear a Marshall's Farm Stand shirt on the pole today." And so I jokingly said, "Oh, Nike offered this much. You're gonna have to match it or raise it." And he goes, "Ha ha, that's funny. I'll give you this much today, and if you win, I'll give you this much more to wear the shirt again tomorrow." So I was like, "All right, done deal. Where can I get a shirt?" And he says, my buddy Aiden McCarthy, who still worked there that year, he had a shirt at his house. So we stopped by Aiden's house. I went in, grabbed the shirt, and just threw it on, and I just had shorts and tights underneath it. And the next day, I wore it again, and my dad had took an old pair of jeans and kind of frayed the bottom, so they were like cut off jeans with frayed short jeans, and then he used the pieces of denim that he tore off, and he made little straps that went up and over here. And we took a few vegetables and put them in my pocket and got like a straw hat, and I was just kind of a farmer for Sunday. And then after that, he went out to my mom on the beach and handed my mom some money and was like, "Make sure Derrick gets this." That was a pretty crazy.
That's pretty
Pretty crazy.
unreal.
That is
Yeah, and
that
like
is so sick.
very cool on his side of the story too, being like, "Hey, let's do this and let's get this out there. Do some little advertisement out there on the pole," and having the belief there to be like, "Yeah, he's probably gonna win this again twice."
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we got a picture of him and his son on Sunday after he came over by the shrine and got a picture with them too at the flag. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But so back to the picture we were talking about, or back to the stance at the end. So my dad got that picture, like I was telling the story, and growing up, even when I was a lot younger, I always knew like I want to get that same picture. I want to recreate the same picture my dad got. We could have the same two, which we actually have upstairs, and so my friends, my brother, people knew I wanted to get that picture, but I didn't know when I wanted to do it, and I came to the conclusion, whether it takes me 8 years or not, I'm gonna wait until Sunday. And I'm going to try to get the picture on Sunday because that's the day. Sunday's the day of the champs. That's when everyone's out there. So I went out there Friday, just was comfortable, did what I did, ran through the end. And then on Saturday, there's a clip that Gabe Castiello films on a GoPro, throughout each day. And he took a clip of me and was like, "Oh, what do you say? Like, you going to throw the fist up today or what?" And I was like, "No, Triple Crown. We're going to wait till tomorrow." And then that was before I even walked Saturday. And then on Sunday, people that knew me knew like I was probably going to do that. My brother knew, and I got my chance. And because of the story from my dad, I thought that the flag was going to be on there a lot tighter. I thought it'd be harder to pull off. So when I got towards the end, I took that last little slide and I grabbed the flag, and the nails just came out smooth as butter. And I was assuming the flag would slow down my momentum from the slide. But I kind of just kept sliding, and if you find there's a certain picture, I can send it to you after if you want to like put it up real quick or something.
Absolutely. We'll toss that right
in
in.
there.
Kind of my knees bending, and I'm trying to like keep myself on the pole, but I'm kind of leaning off. But it was just long enough to get the pause, hold the fist up, and get the picture, and then my momentum just slid me right off with the flag. And then that was the moment, like, holy shit, we did it. Like, this was what I've been wanting to do. Triple Crown first year and throw the fist up. That was like my dream when I was growing up.
Storybook ending. A storybook
Right,
ending,
exactly.
no less. That's
That's like
unbelievable.
one of the all-time Fiesta pictures we got. Like you got people creating. I got a laptop sticker on my laptop right now of that pose.
Yeah, got that on the back of my laptop too.
You got all the
little
Gloucester gear stuff that
Exactly.
he's pumping out. So it's pretty cool. I mean, storybook ending. It doesn't get much better than that. And just hearing the entire story of it. going from like, when your dad set up that pole when you're young, and then now passing it down to other kids to just have a good time in the summer. I mean, doesn't get much better.
No, not at all. It was perfect ending.
That's amazing. And we want to thank you again for coming on. This has been absolutely incredible. And one last question too, from me is, outside of what you just shared, is there anything in the off season, any training being done? I know right now Fiesta is, some would say possibly pending. So I want to know if there's anything you did, prior to the 3P or this year, to kind of kick things up a notch, stay sharp, and stay fit for another year of a championship run.
Probably not the answer you're looking for, but absolutely nothing.
There you go.
You
That's the answer I was hoping for.
That's all there is to it, folks.
Yeah, and
you tell your stories, you get ready for some new stories the next year, and then you just go out and you do it all again. Hope for the best. It's one step wrong out of like 40 steps. It's very easy to misstep once.
Yeah, and you're only walking Sunday now.
Each year's different. Each walk's different. You never know what's going to happen.
And it's
never a done deal.
You'll be second next year in the lineup, correct? Because
whoever's
Saturday.
Sunday, and whoever wins Saturday will be first.
So yeah, you never know who the next year is coming up. If it's the next, Derrick
Never
Hopkins.
There'll always be someone in front of me that can shut me down.
Exactly.
Let me just say that the haters are praying to God right now that first person pulls down that flag. But let's hope they don't.
Run it up again. Run up the score.
Run it up, baby.
And my last question from the podcast earlier this week: Instagram birthday repost on the story. We want to get your opinion on it because me and Drew differ.
Okay. I'm personally not a big fan. It's like nowadays all your friends post a picture of you on your birthday, and then it's like you have to repost their picture of you onto your story. I personally am not a fan. I personally will just send someone separately a happy birthday, maybe in a group chat, but I'll text someone separately, and that'll be my way of showing like, hey, I care about you. Happy birthday. I don't feel a need to post a million pictures that they have to then repost. Just let them know. Let them hear it from you.
I totally agree with you. I'm glad I'm on the right side of history. The polling showed that that's the right side of history. I'm sorry, Drew. That's all I got. All right.
So be it, folks.
Derrick, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Humblest kids I've met. I mean, doing that all weekend, and I've never heard a bad word about you. We like to think of the old adage. What is it, Drew?
Good kid, better walker, but we're actually going to switch it now and say
good walker,
better kid. Much better kid.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So we'll end it on that. Thanks for coming on.
All righty.
And we're back. Going on to our last segment here. We're going to talk a little bit about screen porches. Maybe a little back porch versus front porch. Why down south has more screen porches than up north, other than the obvious weather? So with that, I've just moved into a house recently that has a screen porch on the back. We moved a TV out there. I don't think I've spent more time on a porch in my life than I do right now. Granted, I'm in Marietta, Florida, and it's 75 degrees beautiful every day. Not to rub it in you guys' face.
Rub it in.
But
GFY.
It's delectable. And why don't people have this up north? Because you could have it all summer. Granted, it's only 3 months long probably, but I wouldn't leave that place.
I do. We've talked about this, right? I'm one of the few people that has made use of that up here. And the fact is, it doesn't get used that often, right? Like all winter. And it's not like you have to take everything down. We spend a lot of time every year taking down, putting up all the screens that are in there because of during the winter, it'll ruin everything in there when it snows and everything. So it's a good amount of work to maintain. So I guess that's why a lot of people just are lazy and don't want to maintain it like that. But it's absolutely worth it though. Like I spend so much time out there in the summer. It's just like we get the wind chimes out there and it's beautiful. So it makes a lot more sense down south when you can use it all year and you don't have to worry about the maintenance in the middle of the winter and everything. But, still, even just for a few months, it's so nice here in the summer that, it's beautiful to have that out back.
Drew,
completely echo. Okay. Didn't realize I was going to get introduced. But regardless, I completely echo what Devin said. I had some great memories last spring on the screen porch. My heart was ripped out, clean out of my chest, thrown into a blender, and fed to myself as the Bruins 7 of the Stanley Cup final as I sat out on that screen porch. And, just to kind of follow up on that as well, I am a back porch guy. I like the privacy of a back porch. I like the idea of still sort of being reserved and being in private and being able to kind of do my own thing. I'd like to think of, anybody who is solemnly a front porch guy as someone older than 70 who drinks 5 days a week. And
come on.
Wow.
Kids. That's the way I look at it. Like old people, like get off my lawn, like stuff like that.
See, I would actually argue here because I grew up with the stoop parties, Drew, on July 3rd. You've been there during these.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than the stoop party. You get all the neighborhood walking around, driving past. You're yelling at people. People are just randomly driving around. Eli Horn driving up the street one year just hopped in, walked down to us to the boulevard for the rest of the night. And that's what it's all about. It's a community thing for the front porch.
Here's the thing, Curt.
Yeah.
If it is my decision, I'm going to go on the back porch. If I am put in a position where the party is on the front porch, sure. Yeah, why not? I'll hang out there for a little bit. But after a while, I like to just kick back and relax in the privacy of my own back porch. And going off of what Devin said as well, there's nothing better than taking advantage of those few months with the nice weather. I think for us, we appreciate it a little bit more than you do, Curt, as you're rubbing it in. I think, after you go through the rigors of a New England winter, there's nothing like kicking back with an ice cold Sam Adams summer, maybe a cigar if that's what you're into, and kicking back on your screen porch. And hopefully, the screens are installed, properly, because if not, the mosquitoes will get you. So.
Absolutely. And just to set the scene on the back porch here, I'm thinking come late October, maybe the NFL has started back up. It's a brisk 63 degrees. We're running into the Central Time. It's a 7:15 p.m. game instead of that 8:15, which is so nice. I think the Central Time Zone is the best time zone by far.
You think so?
Oh, with game times.
I've been out west before, and just being able to have like that West Coast time, I think that's a great thing. Being able to like wake up, it's like the 1 p.m. games start at 10 a.m. instead, so you wake up, the games are going right away, and then it's all, you're done, ready to go to bed by 9, 10 o'clock. I kind of like the West Coast. I think we kind of have it worst on the East Coast.
I don't think the East Coast is the West Coast is too early for me, but that Central.
You think so?
Mountain time is iffy, but Central 1 hour back is like perfect. I can go to bed right after that prime time slot. But sitting on the back porch, that's it. I mean, like Drew said, sipping on whatever you got out there and spending just the entire day. If you got a dog, bring the dog out, let it run around. Perfect.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of more on the back porch. I almost think that front porch, I kind of agree with Drew. When I think of front porch, I don't think of like get off my lawn type of like mean old guy. but I am thinking about like kind of an older crowd like sitting out on the front. And but I also don't live in like a community that's like people outside all the time and everything, so it's not like I have people walking by my house. If that was the case, I'd probably be more inclined to be on the front porch. But from my experience, I like being out back. And like just kind of the privacy of it. And, I'll have like a few of my cousins over and, just some of my family, and we can just hang out on the back deck and in the privacy of the back deck. I think it's a lot of fun. The back deck, you can have that kind of like a little afternoon, but I've also had a lot of like really fun, like late nights with a ton of people out there on the back deck. And I feel like that's not quite such a front deck type of thing,
I guess, you guys are like, if Gloucester was a beach, you'd both be on the private ends of the beach for where you are located. We're down in central Gloucester. There's a million people surrounding us.
There's no hiding.
Breathing down your neck. The seagulls are coming down trying to get you a sandwich. And when I think of front porch, I want front porch. The stone pillars are like American facade in the front, and put me a rocking chair out there. Yeah, it sounds old, but that's what I need.
Well, you're an old man, Curtis. At heart, you really are. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that you're a front porch type of person.
The McDonald's grew up on the front porch on Harrison Ave. Every Sunday out on that front porch. So with that, that's all we got for today. Hope you enjoy, like we said, the Greasy Pulse segment. That was a lot of fun to get into the insight of the guy behind the wheel, the guy behind
I'm excited.
history.
Absolutely. I'm excited to get on here, too. This is my first episode on, and I'm going to hopefully have a mic coming in soon so I sound a little bit better.
Yeah, those laughs were a little crazy on here, but we'll get through them. All right, with that, Pat Goss, thanks for supplying the music, taking us out. Oh, and before I forget, we forgot to get the answer out of D-Hop on Colby Mitchell's Sunday walk, and I quote, he said, "An unreal walk." That's all, folks. See you next week.
Brown bag.
Your soul is mine. Your soul is mine.
The Brown Bag Lunch Crew.